And we can see inscriptions of it actually in Middle Assyrian seal impressions, or at least depictions, showing these altars, their locations. Here's another one, right, with the image of a god, a goddess. Actually, this is Gula, a goddess who's depicted in some forms as a dog. She's a goddess of healing. Anyway, you get the idea. We've also seen these altars elsewhere. The location, right? Interior altars. 2 of them were found here in room 6. 1 was found outside. These exterior altars, again, probably serving different functions that we no longer have. But this is something we see as early as Gudea. If you remember this plan from one of the statues of Gudea, if you look right here, right next to the entrance, just like what we found at the Ishtar temple, and again, Gudea is much earlier, of course, but here is, right, a very similar altar setup right next to the entryway. Some of these other altars that were inscribed, right? One was undecorated. This is a second altar from the Ishtar temple, which also depicts Tukulti Ninurta standing between these two front-facing heroes. I know they're difficult to see, and I apologize for that. But these are the same sort of front-facing heroes with the curly locks we've seen elsewhere, holding 2 standards with these rosette wheels, again, sacred to Ishtar, with the central figure being Tukulti Ninurta. Also, we see on this lower frieze a very, very denuded scene of people making their way across mountains with chariotry, carrying horses, things like that. Other arts from the Middle Assyrian period. We have this black stone lid from Ashur. And we can see here that this is playing again with registers, but now registers done on a circular lid. And this is what I wanted to draw your attention to, just as we kind of wrap up here, because I know we've got to get going. But again, this emphasis on musculature, this emphasis on verisimilitude. These are icons we've seen before, but done in a very sort of realistic way, with attention to these muscles and the forms of the human body. These naked bound captives, again, being killed. You can see here the king, most likely. Actually, we can compare this to the old Assyrian depictions of Shemshi-Adad. Right? So we've got Shemshi-Adad with his foot kind of forcing this guy down to the ground, hitting him on the head with an axe. In this case, right, we've got this king, this Assyrian king doing the same thing to this guy. Also, right, registers with what clearly is a processional scene with a chariot, right? The individual riding the chariot, the horses, and then this Assyrian with a small cup. So registers again, but playing with registers, right? Intentionally violating those registers. This piece is small, fragmentary, but very interesting. You see the horses' heads, for example, come up over the edge of this register, playing with these ideas of space and design. Tukulti Ninurta, because of his sacking of Babylon, because of really establishing these unpopular laws in the city of Ashur, decides that Ashur isn't the place for him. He decides that as a great king ruling Assyria, he's going to do what these other great kings are going to do. He establishes a brand new capital, and of course he names that capital after himself, Kar Tukulti Ninurta. And we're going to pick up with Kar Tukulti Ninurta next time. But again, right, so now we've got the Assyrians on the scene, causing all sorts of trouble in the east, along with the Hittites, and this major transition, again, as we've seen, around 1350, with the fall of Mitanni, rise of Syria. We'll pick up with Babylon on Wednesday, Egypt on Friday, and then we'll be done with the Late Bronze Age. Any questions about that? These letters, diplomacy? Okay. All right, see you on Wednesday.